OMAD, ORIN, LOOPER, and we are discussing the reasons, the kidneys and filtration. So Dave, what is the controversy with the kidneys filtration? What's going on with your urine?
So what I really want to get to the bottom of, we do know that the kidneys take the blood and makes this product called ultrafiltered blood plasma. So plasma ultrafiltrate, or urine. And taking things out, putting things in. The finished product called ultrafiltered blood plasma, 90% of it, something like that, goes back into the blood. Now, is it exactly the same? The stuff that goes back into the blood, is that exactly the same as what goes to the bladder? Now, we must be able to get to the truth about that. We must know that.
What do you feel intuitively on that?
I think it is. Or if there is little differences, this is what I'd like to know. But some kidney specialists have really said, no, it's different.
Right.
The age-old thing, which I don't think is quite right, the kidneys filter the blood.
Yeah.
And it separates it, and there's two urines.
Yeah.
So there's one good urine that goes back into the blood, and all the bad things goes to the bad urine, and that goes to the bladder.
Yeah.
And on the say, oh, that's just easy. Okay, that makes sense. But there's a lot more to it than that.
It definitely is. And also, we talked earlier about being creation, like 1 million nephrons is a ridiculous amount of in the kidneys. Why is there so many? And there must be a reason behind it. Is it really getting rid of waste, 1 million nephrons? And I don't know. It's hard for me to comprehend the degrees of how complex the kidneys actually are.
Yeah.
It really is.
So, about that now, there's a couple of smoking guns. When you think about, we know the baby in the womb, isn't it? The baby pees into space they're floating in, both male or female. There's no cap on the genitals. They will pee into space and drink it down again. If it was a waste product, and if the stuff that goes to the bladder is different, surely the baby would die if it was a waste product.
Exactly, and wouldn't we be dead because of the amount of urine that we've drunk in our lifetimes?
That's right.
And not even dead, we'd be unhealthy if we weren't dead. And I think that me and you are vibrating at a very high level of consciousness and
Look
vibration.
at Brother Sage, he's done it, since 60s, 70s? And he's healthy as anything.
Yep, it's
That
true.
is a smoking gun. It is not a waste product.
No. And do you think it's conspiracy, lastly, the urine therapy? Because it seems to be the opposite of like realities of what they're telling us.
There's a lot of things pointing towards that.
Yeah.
You know, I often talk about the guy Poon Lin, you know who he is?
I do, for you.
Poon Lin,
yes, for you, yep.
So he did 133 days on a life raft at sea. Now this is fact, he did 133 days on an 8-foot by 8-foot life raft. And he survived, and when they picked him up he was quite healthy. He was able to climb the ladder unaided. He'd lost a bit of weight, but I think he was drinking his urine for 133 days.
133 days just urine, nothing else, fasting?
Yeah, and maybe a bit of rainwater. Apparently he caught a turtle once, but he said no, he didn't really eat much of the turtle.
Wow.
But 133 days, he couldn't have got water from anywhere else. This is near the equator, there's no rain.
Yeah.
It's right near the equator, hot temperature. What else? How did he survive? Now, I do know that when they picked him up, it was the most incredible thing. Yeah. And they said, you're not allowed to talk to the press. You're not allowed to talk to the press. And this is confirmed. And he went to see the King of England at the time, just after the Second World War. Yeah. They brought him to see the King of England, and he said, you're not allowed to talk to the press at all. And then, but I read a book where he did mention, someone said drinking, he's Chinese. In China, it goes way back, ORIN therapy. Yep. And they said he drank his urine. But now, if you look up, you can find everything about Poon Lin. He's still in the Guinness Book of Records, the longest sea survival at sea, but that's been covered up. They don't mention urine drinking. No. And anyone asked him, how did he survive 133 days with no water? And they said, oh, he drank turtle blood, and he was able to just survive with no water. That's not possible. No. He definitely drank his urine. But that part of the story's been covered up now.
I think that's true, and funny enough, I spoke to a guy on Instagram recently who's so poor that he is urine fasting for a few days, and I told him he could try for 10, 20, and I'm going to get in contact with him, maybe interview him, because he's an experiment for me and for himself now. He knows urine is powerful, so we're going to see. I think Dave Murphy did 40 days, apparently, 30 days, Dave, and something I want to come to too, Dave, in the future, see how much energy I can get from looping and nothing else. I'm sure you're the same.
I've done 27 days, pure ORIN looping.
Really?
27
days, wow.
And either side I did it was like 40-day fast, but I was doing water either side of it.
Right,
but 27 days.
Distilled water and urine.
Distilled water,
That's and fresh urine only, aged urine as well?
Fresh only.
Wow.
I just looped everything. And of course, after about a week, it gets very, very acidic. It gets like lemon juice, and it gets really acidic.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Just keep looping it. Keep looping it. I reckon I could go more. When they asked him, by the way, Poon Lin did 133 days in a life raft. When they rescued him, they said, could you have gone longer? And he said, yeah, much longer, I was fine.
Wow, that's incredible.
So healthy.
And when was this? 1800s? This is 100
No,
years
this
ago.
was after the Second World War. 1940s, about 1946, I think.
Wow.
He was off South Africa, the South Atlantic. his ship was torpedoed. Chinese man, he's working for the British on a British ship.
Yeah.
His ship got torpedoed. He ended up in the water, and he found something, and he swam along in this life raft, climbed on board, and there was a small survival pack in there. I think there was a bit of water. So he had the water, he drank that water, and he had a container now.
Yeah.
So I think that he just kept peeing into
I'm
the container.
100% with you. There's no other way that man can survive and thrive and say that he could go on for longer without drinking. Because I know rainwater maybe on the skin would have fed through to him. And he could have drunk some rainwater. That's not possible to survive with just that. It's unreliable.
But this is near the equator. He floated right up to the Caribbean, or the top of the north of the South Atlantic.
Yeah.
There's not much rainwater. It's hardly any rain.
Exactly.
133 days.
That's incredible.
And during that 133 days, he went through a couple of storms.
Yep.
There were some really bad storms, and he survived. And he had to, like, he was washed off and he had to swim back and climb on board. What an adventure, isn't it?
That's crazy. You guys should check out Poon Lin. And yes, if you haven't, to the first question, if anyone can answer as well, their theories on the kidneys, what's going on. Is it the same, the urine goes back into the blood, or is it different, excess? Just let us know your thoughts, guys. I hope you got some value with OMAD, ORIN, LOOPER, and myself, listener Harry. And